Welcome. This is a members only video. I'm going to start the intro out a little slow so people can trickle in. I haven't done members only video in a while. Life has been a bit all over the place. You all know I moved to a new office recently. And so, with the new office, I am loving it. Clients are loving the new space. No space is perfect, but I've really enjoyed that. We recently went on a trip to Disney World, and I like to recap what I've learned and any tips and tricks that I have if you have upcoming travel. So there's a new real ID for flights. And when we got our passport, we ended up getting, so my son and I, we both did passport cards. So I haven't done the real ID on my driver's license yet. I will eventually. In Virginia, you're able to make an appointment at the DMV. If you do need to go to the DMV and your state offers where you can make a reservation, I would highly recommend because of this new requirement for travel, a lot of people are finally doing this. Now, they've been talking about Real ID for a really long time, but people are finally starting to do this. We ended up doing a early morning flight. So we flew out. Oh, so we flew out of DC on the morning of the Army 250-year parade, and because air traffic was actually canceled, from like no flights could come in or out on the day we left, from I think 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., and our airline gave us a heads up, like, hey, just a heads up, you know air traffic, like things might be impacted. Thankfully, we left early in the morning, and so we were not impacted at all. For our airport, you're able to pay for parking early, and that gives you a slight discount. So I always do that. I always prepay for parking. Before we had our kiddo, we would normally park in the economy lot. But the whole getting on a bus with a kid and like four bags plus a car seat. So we now do terminal parking, like parking that's a little bit closer. But I remember those days of parking out in the economy lot, hopping on the bus, and then hopping on the bus back. The bus back was normally the thing that caused extra stuff. This year, I totally forgot. So I dressed myself and my child for summer, and I forgot to bring us like, because airports are cold. So airports and airplanes can be cold, and I forgot to bring like some type of hoodie or something. So one of my favorite Disney characters is Stitch, and so my inner child is super duper happy. So we went to Disney Springs, and I got this for myself. And my kiddo picked out a sweatshirt that he liked. And but that was, mommy made a mistake. Out of all the things I packed, I totally forgot that. Let me see. I have other things. Okay, so let me pause. And so first start with our flight. Thankfully, everything was nice and smooth. We got to Orlando about 11 o'clock, and we got to our hotel. Of course, so at 11:30 or so, we arrive at the hotel. And Disney, if you're staying at certain resorts, the day you arrive, you get to go to the water park. So, I had packed our water park bag. So me and my son, we were gonna go to the water park, and I put that bag inside the car seat bag. Because if you travel with the car seat, you can throw extra snow, like you can throw extra stuff in the car seat bag. So I wasn't having to unzip a suitcase, and so we had our bag ready to go to Typhoon Lagoon. And my kiddo, for 4 hours, he hung out and had a blast at the wave pool. and they have a serious wave pool at Typhoon Lagoon. Like, it really pulls you in. They have big surf waves for, like, an hour and a half, and then they have milder waves for, like, 30 minutes, and they go back to, like, the big waves. He didn't do any of the other slides. He didn't do the lazy river. He didn't do any, like, he just the wave pool. That is what he did. We also did lunch there. We got the notification that our room was ready. So right as my son and I were on the bus going to Typhoon Lagoon, our room was actually ready. And so I called my husband to let him know that he could go on ahead and go to the room and rest and all of that. The travel Tetris is so real, and I see people like with kiddos trying to manage everything. So during travel, my kiddo gets unlimited screen time. Like, um, if it makes you happy, but we do still so I try to keep him active, and because he loves escalators, so if there are walking escalators, like we do all the things. Um, so at Typhoon Lagoon, I ended up, yeah, you can see this little mark right here. So I ended up getting scratched up in the wave pool, and my son ended up with like 4 or 5 minor scratches if in from the wave pool. Yeah, it was 5. So you end up with 5 scratches, and thankfully, Disney, all the locations have, first aid. So we were able to go to the first aid center, and there was a phenomenal cast member that, like, put on gloves, and he, like, and so nothing was bleeding. So they were when I say minor, they were minor. Uh, my kiddo is 7, almost 8, so he was not happy with the fact that he had these and it was right as we were leaving, because while he was playing he did not know that he had any injuries. It was once we were getting changed to leave he realized that part. And so but the cast member did a phenomenal job patching everything up, and it was super great. Yes, so I left my husband, so we checked, so we ended up leaving the bags with the hotel, like, I don't know if it's concierge, but, like, we dropped them off where you can drop your bags, and they brought the bags to the room, and you just tip them. So we did that. If we had waited 10 minutes, we probably could have just taken our bags directly to the room. We took the bus to Typhoon Lagoon, so we didn't need the booster seat. So I was able to leave my husband because for our kiddo, we just take he's 7 and he's huge. So our kiddo is probably like He's because he was 48 inches at almost 5, almost 6 years old. He's probably like 50 something. He's super tall. I'm 5'6", and he's up to here on me. But he's still in a booster seat. For Florida at 7, you don't have to take a booster. I took it anyway because I wanted to get that extra bag that I could just throw stuff in. Because I knew we would be bringing souvenirs back. I'm gonna show y'all the souvenirs that my kiddo picked up. A few that were from last year, but they're just my favorites, and then a few from this trip. Um, and and so we did our day, Typhoon Lagoon, got patched up with the band-aids. We hopped back on the bus to get back to the resort, got showered and everything, and we went to dinner at Grand Floridian Cafe. That was where my son had his favorite mac and cheese. He gave that no. So another restaurant that I'll mention later, he ended up eating there, and he ended up liking that one even more. And this was our first time eating a sit down meal on the day that we arrived because we got there so early. We flew in at like 11. Like we got to Florida at like 11. So eating dinner, sit down by like 7 p.m., that wasn't too bad. So we did that. And then so the first day in the parks, we went to Animal Kingdom, and this is our kiddo's 3rd time at Disney, and he already knew what he liked and what he didn't like. And the only rides he really wanted to ride in Animal Kingdom was Flight of Passage, which is the huge Avatar ride. It's super cool. It's like a VR ride. It is like it opens your senses. It's a super cool ride. So that was his favorite ride. And then we rode Mount Everest, which is a roller coaster dinosaur, which it's gonna close to be rethemed to Indiana Jones. He plays at the Boneyard Graveyard, which it's my understanding that's gonna be closing at the end of August. I think September 1st, end of August. But yeah, so Animal Kingdom, so you can take a safari and you can ride the safari to see different animals. And so you'll see giraffes, elephants, different types of wildlife, flamingos. This year, our kiddo, he didn't want to do the safari ride. So we instead took the wildlife train. There's this train that you can take to Rafiki's Planet, something, Rafiki's Planet Watch, I think. And they have a petting zoo. So there he was able to pet some sheep, some New Zealand pigs, like, it was this special pig that he was able to pet, and, we were able to see, like, some lizards. We were able to see them operating on a bat. And so there were some pretty cool things that we saw down there. But you don't really go to Animal Kingdom to like, to see the animals necessarily. Like, I don't know. If people really love animals, some people stay at um there's is it the lodge? There's some safari views. There's a hotel that Disney has where you can like see animals if you have the safari view. But yeah, it is what it is. So we did that. Then on the next day, we went to Hollywood Studios in the morning. And this was our first year doing Park Hopper. So our kiddo, like I said, he's 7, almost 8. In past years, once he spent about 3, 4 hours in the park, he was done. He was ready to go back to the hotel and rest before dinner. This year, we decided to park hop, and he was a trooper. So we went to Hollywood Studios. He was able to meet BB-8. That's the only character that he wanted to meet, and so we stood in. It was a short line. We were able to stand in line to meet BB-8. We rode Rise of the Resistance. He rode, and this was an experience. We had to be flexible. So this whole trip, it was all about flexibility because right before we left for our trip, our dryer broke. And so that's why I'm going live today, because yesterday my husband and I were like disconnecting the washer and dryer. It's almost been 10 years. So we've had our current washer and dryer for almost 10 years. And so it was time to replace it anyway. You just hope it doesn't break like when you get back from a trip and have like all this laundry to do. So the new washer and dryer get there tomorrow. And so, yeah, he is currently watching YouTube Kids, but he can kind of hear what I'm saying, and so he'll pipe up if there's something that he wants for me to say. But on the day we went to Hollywood Studios, Rock and Roller Coaster was down, and that was the only ride that he hadn't done in Hollywood Studios yet. And so we were on the boat to go to Epcot, and my husband checked, like right, the boat hadn't left yet. My husband looked and he was like, "Oh my gosh, Rock and Roller Coaster's open." So we like hop off the boat. We run, like we go back to ride the ride. Rock and Roller Coaster isn't like it's an upside down roller coaster. But my kid is a thrill ride kid. And so he totally loved it. He absolutely loved it. Um and So that was that day. The first night we ate dinner. Yeah, so first night dinner at Grand Floridian Cafe. Sunday, Father's Day, we ate at Ohana, uh, and that was over at the Polynesian Resort. And then this night, I know we did dinner somewhere. Where did we go? We Narcoossee's, I think. So we had okay. So we had dinner. Um, because a part of our being because when we went to Epcot, we just rode a few slow rides. My in-laws were with us, and so we just rode Spaceship Earth, which is the big Epcot ball, and we rode Soarin', which is just it's kind of like Flight of Passage, but you soar around the world. And do we ride one other ride? Epcot. We might have done we did Figment. Yes, because that was the day I was so happy that I bought this for my son technically, and it lights up and you can change the color. You can change it to different colors. But this is the Figment popcorn bucket, and I said I bought it for my son. I'm pretty sure I kind of got this for me, but and good. He can't hear me. But he likes the little Figment ride. You can hear me. I thought so. So we got the Figment popcorn bucket. And so that was fun. It was so cute. I technically like I really wanted something. Your neurospicy kiddo would love it. Like it's super cute. And I think when they first came out, they had, colored popcorn in it, and they also had, like, this Mickey ears popcorn bucket that looks like Epcot. I If I had seen it, I would have bought that one too. I would have. But, I told y'all about the BB-8 ball, because our kiddo had a budget of, $100. So that was his, budget. When we were at Hollywood let me get something real quick. Okay. Ooh, that went down. When we were at Hollywood Studios at Tatooine's Traders, okay? So the exit for Star Tours, there's a gift shop where kiddos can make their own lightsaber, okay? And he did this before. He did this 2 years ago, the first time he went, and he made a double lightsaber. This time he did a double deluxe lightsaber, and so it's technically 2, and then let me see if it'll do it. But there's 2. It's super cool. Okay, and then do I push it down? Yeah, push it down. So he so it was $59. No, it was $50 for one, $60 for the deluxe. So, he did the deluxe where you get 2 lightsabers, and he could have made them different, and he picked the colors because there were different, like, you're able to personalize it. Because Disney, of course, they have, like, this $250 lightsaber making experience, but for me, my kiddo is like, he loved just doing this one, and he was super happy with it. So blue, yeah, so the saber color is blue. And he could've 'cause I wasn't sure if he was gonna do red on the other side, but he did blue on both sides, because he was able to personalize it the way that he wanted it. And so it was, like, for $60, like, that wasn't bad for Disney. And then the last thing that he got was, this Lego castle that the 2 of us we started on it last night and we finished it today. But we put this little Lego castle because we went to the Lego store over in Disney Springs. I'm hot, so I'm gonna take this off. But yeah, I was it's so cute. It's so cute. Um, so my jacket and his jacket, that was mommy's extra. So we did that. And then for the third day, we started out in Epcot again. So our third park day, we started out in Epcot, and we went to ride Guardians of the Galaxy, and he did Mission Space. We did the orange mission. That's a little bit more intense because in Mission Space they have a green mission, which is it's really mild, but the orange mission you fill some G's, and they have the barf bags just in case. He loved the orange mission. There was a kiddo that was before us, and she looked like she was about 11 or 12 years old. And during the pre-flight simulation, like Disney's experience where they're explaining everything, they're talking about us going to Mars. And I think the girl, because she kept saying, I don't want to go to space. I don't want to go to space. And so I think she didn't understand that it was just a simulation. We really weren't going in real life. Like this is just a simulation. But she did not want to ride the ride. So her and her mom were able to exit, and then her and a woman exited, and then two men stayed and they rode the ride, but they were able to exit and not ride the ride. And I just told my kiddo because I was really proud that he tried some things that he wasn't sure about. And we were able to just kind of talk about those experiences, because then we went to lunch at Chef Art's Homecoming in Disney Springs. I had chicken and donuts. It was delicious. And but I had the appetizer that was like biscuits and chicken, and I only ate half of it, but the biscuit was so dense, like it really filled up my stomach to where it was. But I finished all the donuts. I wasn't able to attack the chicken as much as I would have wanted to. But Chef Arts, we were able to sit right by there's like a lake, no, there's like a man-made pond behind it. And so we had a great seat, loved it, and that was the mac and cheese that he really liked. Um, and then that night we went to Magic Kingdom. And I think on the way or while we were there, my kiddo looked at me and he was like, I'm going to be brave. I'm going to try Space Mountain again. Because if y'all remember, 2 years ago, the first time he rode Space Mountain, he likes roller coasters where we sit beside him. He does not like roller coasters where he feels like he's all by himself. And so he ended up saying, okay, because on Space Mountain, you do three in a row, but you're all sitting like behind each other. Somebody isn't like beside him. And it is pretty dark. This time when we rode, we thought it wasn't quite as dark. And some people do feel like sick. They can get motion sickness. Because on Space Mountain, it's kind of jerky. It's not a smooth ride at all. But our kiddo said, I want to be brave. I want to try Space Mountain again. And I was able to clarify being brave doesn't mean that you didn't cry, that you weren't scared, or that you definitely liked it. Being brave would be just trying and seeing again and seeing how it is this time, because the first time he hated it. So his first time on Space Mountain, he was screaming the whole time, like, "Make it stop, like, I wanna get off," like, he was so unhappy the very first time he rode Space Mountain. Um, this time, he's ridden a lot of other roller coasters. He had already done the Upside Down roller coaster at Hollywood Studios, and so, he had a blast on Space Mountain this time. It just so happened, like, it turned out well. We also rode Tron. Yeah, we rode Tron, and then we did Buzz Lightyear. We did, a game where you just, like you get points for trying to get Zurg, and so, and then we stayed for the fireworks. And right before the fireworks, my kiddo had to go to the bathroom, and so we take him to the bathroom. We're not able to get a great spot, and so next year, we might try to um, find a way to get a much better spot. Make sure we use the bathroom before and that we have a better spot next year. But that was his first time seeing the Magic Kingdom fireworks, because last year we saw the Epcot fireworks. And so then Wednesday we had a rest day. But Mike, So our rest day, my kiddo and I, we went to the pool for like 2 hours, but we just chilled at the resort, and, then we went out for dinner, and that was about it. But yeah, yeah, the Buzz Lightyear. Yep, so we did that ride, and we also did in Hollywood Studios, we did Toy Story Mania, and that's another one. You actually do like a popping motion at on that one. Um, but we had a blast. Um, a trip to Disney is not a vacation. Like, I didn't come back feeling rested. I worked that Friday because we flew back on Thursday. I worked Friday. I had a pretty easy, like, it wasn't a heavy day, but I have some clients that couldn't miss a week. So we were able to schedule on Friday, and then, of course, I have a full week this coming week. But, we had a blast. Thank you all for all the support you all give. The support here and the doors that have opened because of social media, that helps, so I travel with that extra income. We were also able to like replace our washer and dryer because I have a speaking engagement in Richmond coming up in July. And so that honorarium is going to replace that washer and dryer. I think I'm under $10,000 for my student loans. I've been paying off my student loans since 2000 and since I graduated in 2009. And I think I'm under 10,000 now. And so my goal is before the end of the year to have those student loans paid off. And so it was a memory making experience. We had such a good time. And this year, it was because in past years going to Disney, you had to wake up first thing in the morning to try to get a virtual spot in a line on a popular ride, or you had to buy if you were doing lightning lanes or something, you had to do all those things really early in the morning. They've made it where you can do some of those things like a week in advance or 3 days in advance, and so, we only did lightning lanes for one, like, we did a lightning lane for where you get to skip the line. So, we skipped the line for Flight of Passage, that was a single pass lightning lane, and then we did multi-pass where we were able to skip multiple lines on our Hollywood Studios Epcot day, where we were able to skip lines in both of those parks. But those were the only 2 that we did, and we could have just stood in line and, like, we could have not done it at all. The parks were not busy at all. Past years, it had been packed, and Epcot no, wait a minute, Epcot. Universal Orlando opened Epic Universe, and so I think a lot of people are traveling there. We probably will check that out in the next few years, but we're not in a rush. We're not in a rush anytime soon. And so, I wanted to give the members this update on the trip. I so appreciate you all, and I'm gonna be doing another members only video because I already have it scheduled in my brain, um, on July 1st at I think it's gonna be at 12 PM. So that's tentatively scheduled for July 1st at 12 PM Eastern, that I'm going to test my mental health and social media presentation. So we're gonna do that. Then I'll still go live later that evening, covering a case. Um, I saw the Karen Reed verdict, and I didn't think the state proved it. There were too many holes, even like, there was a medical examiner that was like, his injuries couldn't be from a car. Like, there are too many holes, and it didn't make sense. I watched the juror interviews. There was one juror that was interviewed by TMZ, and there was a female juror that was interviewed. I watched both of those, and, 'cause she was convicted of the DUI, but, um acquitted of the death charges. And so my heart goes out to John O'Keefe's family because, I don't know that he's gonna get justice. Um, I wish the investigation had been handled differently. Um, I think they could have looked into things that they didn't look into, and, the actions of people like Proctor and all those other people, um, that it didn't look good. And, the defense really did put on a really strong defense in that case. And so, I saw that. Anything else going on? I think those are the main things. Yes. Yay, Christy, you added it. Yes, July 1st, noon Eastern. Yes, it's Eastern time. 3 or 4 jurors. So, I'll have to check out, I saw Runkle had a video with the defense team from Friday, and so I'll have to see the other jurors. I'm thinking they're probably gonna say the same thing, that, there were holes and there was doubt, and they just couldn't all get too guilty. And if I was on the jury, I think I would've come to the same decision. I just would've. Um, I'm glad there weren't any issues with the form because I think the last jury wanted to have the same verdict, but the judge didn't accept the the they never got to ask the jury if they had a verdict on any of the charges, and so it was a lot. Alessi looks good. Bob Alessi, for especially to be 67 years old. Yeah, I think he looks good. Alright. So, I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your week. I agree that the Karen Reed that the form was confusing. Um, and the jury, the question I saw that because I was watching on Emily D. Baker's channel when the jury had questions, and it was just so much. Um, yeah, but they fixed the form during deliberations, so that's good. Once again, I thank you all. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your week. I will see y'all on Tuesday. Have a good one. Bye.